Hey guys, welcome to day 24 of my carnivore journey. Tonight we're going to be talking about some health stuff. I'm going to talk about some things I ate, some things how I felt today. There was a few things that I wanted to notate in my vlog diary here. I also want to address a comment and ultimately, is this worth it? Like, I mean, is all of this I'm going through worth it? So let's begin, shall we? So first of all, I want to dive a little bit into, let's just kind of get some of what I went through today, right? So today, everything, I woke up, I slept for a good solid, probably 6 hours. And when I say solid, I mean that 6 hours I slept was good. It was just a good solid sleep. I woke up, and when I decided to get up, normally I sit on the edge of the bed sometimes for like 20-30 minutes. I mean, seriously, it takes me a while to get motivated. But lately I've been kind of sitting up and grab my watch, put on my watch from the charger stand, and grab my phone, and I'm like kind of getting up, I'm grabbing my stuff, and getting ready to do my morning routine. I'm not saying I wake up all perky-eyed, bouncy, but I'm just saying, like, I actually get up and I feel like moving, and that's a big step. All right. Also, around 2 o'clock was about the minimum I wanted my fast window. I was starting to get some hunger. Now I could have powered through it, but I had those pepperonis still with me, so I had a small stack of pepperonis, probably about 10, roughly, and that actually was fine. I was good to go. But all through the day, I felt, again, that word solid, I felt even. Again, had enough energy for work. It doesn't give me the kind of energy where I want to run around manically, like having like chugging down some kind of energy drink. But it just gives me energy when I need it, and it kind of keep me moving. So that's kind of what I experienced today as far as that goes. Potty wise, I think I had no potty yet today. Last night after the video, I think I had like a normal-ish potty. It was kind of mixed, if that makes sense. So today we'll see how things go. And like I said, I know that I'm still drinking coffee, which brings me to think, what did I have today? Well, guys, I got a steak twice in a row. That's right. It was amazing. I got to have steak 2 nights in a row. How did this happen for me, Mr. Ground Beef Guy? Because the steaks was so good last night that my wife was like, "Oh, I really want steak again tonight," and I was like, "Hey, I can make that happen. It's going to cost us." But I actually found 3 good sized top sirloin. They had some fat on them and stuff, but the top sirloins, I got 3 of them for like $22. So I felt that was a pretty good deal, because I think before I got 3 of the top sirloins and they'd be like $24 to $27. And that was usually when they're like on sale or something. So this time I got 3 really big steaks, and I actually enjoyed them. They came out to me even better than the New York strips. So in my opinion, I got more meat, and of course, there you go. So you can see it's a good size steak. I mean, it was a good size steak, and I had like 2 eggs with it. 2 eggs, and I fried it a little bit of bacon grease. But the eggs, did I need them? I don't know. But I ate them, and when I got done with the last few bites of my steak, there literally was only like one bite of steak that I could not eat, and it was just that gristle and stuff. Like, it was just like, nah, I'm not doing that. But everything else I was able to get down, and then those last couple bites, I don't want to say I wanted more, but I got done. I think my mind was telling me, you're done. But I'm full. I'm not bloated. I don't have any bloating. Like I said, I'm pretty solid right now. And then, of course, I've got my coffee and heavy cream. So, again, steak and eggs and coffee. Again, some pepperoni this morning. That's what I had for day 24. And I am going to I don't think I'm going to have anything else tonight. It's just going to be that coffee. I do have to work tonight. Tomorrow night, I'm off. But I wanted to address a comment from Damian Rue, who basically asked me a question. And the only reason why I'm addressing this question, because there's like a ton of comments and a ton of advice, tips, positivity. You guys know this. You know this about the channel. And I want to stay as humble as I can for you guys, because I want you guys to know that we're in this together, and it's a small group of us in that sense. No matter how many people end up following my journey, I want to keep that sense of community with you guys. But his comment just made me want to talk a little bit about this versus just in a I didn't want to just respond in a comment. But Damian Rue said, basically like, hi Josh, do you have any health problems? Would like to know if those improve like many people claim. So the wording of his comments leads me to believe that he's probably skeptical of the carnivore diet, as a lot of us. And I think that he's looking at, now he may have some medical issues himself, and maybe he's wondering, is this that sort of miracle diet? That the carnivore, when you look at all the things it claims to do, like reverse diabetes and the bloating and the anti-inflammation, arthritis problems, even focusing and anxiety and depression, the list goes on. There's more. Skin conditions, skin tags, you name it. There's things that, carnivore will fix. And of course, weight issues. Your health markers, all of that stuff's going to be better. So it almost does sound like it's too good to be true. Because you got to remember, and one thing, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about, right? We've been programmed our whole lives, right? All around the world. When America came out with that food pyramid and all this stuff, the rest of the world started following suit, unfortunately. But the problem is, honestly, is like, we've been programmed. Like, I mean, it's like when I was a kid, you got up, you had cereal. Why cereal? Because again, that's what we were supposed to have, right? Some kind of cereal, oatmeal, but some kind of breakfast, right? And then of course, when the food pyramid came out, whatever, of course, yeah, it's definitely going to be ingrained in getting your cereal. But, I'd have a breakfast. You go to school, you have a lunch, you come home, you have a dinner with your family. It was like 3 meals, 3 well-rounded meals, right? That was like embedded in us. Eat your fruits and vegetables, eat your fruits and vegetables. I mean, it was just, probably in every household, it was that thing like, hey, eat your fruits and vegetables. Hey, finish your vegetables. Hey, finish your vegetables. I mean, how many times have we heard these things? And it's just been so deeply programmed in us, all of the things about the vilification of saturated fats. And just because we don't use that term necessarily, but when we think of like all the jokes, the culture, the jokes about the fat guy eating a ton of steak and meat and eating this plate full of grossness, or that was what it was made out to be in these movies. That was vilified in TV and movies. People made jokes about, the heart attack stuff. It was just embedded. And like, even a specific example is if you guys have seen the movie Wild Hogs, it had Tim Allen, John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, and William H. Macy, right? Like, 4 guys, middle age. Of course, it had Ray Liotta. It had some other people in it too. Even Henry Fonda, I think, showed up. Anyways, or Peter Fonda. Did I mess that up? Anyways, point is, these guys were like middle age, and they're the life is sort of being dulled. It's almost like they were having a little bit of a middle-age crisis. But essentially, there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where Tim Allen is sitting there having dinner, and of course, it's like he's got to watch what he eats and all this other crap, and he's just like he just starts losing it, and he's just like, I'm just tired of having these rules, and like I can't be me, and I can't be who I am, basically. And so he just like in his comedy bit, he starts like just picks up a stick of butter, and he's like, I'm just gonna eat it like the French, and like he just starts eating the butter, and they're like, oh, Doug, like you're LDL, and the kid's like, Dad, and then next thing you know, it cuts to him in the hospital, and see, and that right there just completely vilifies like butter, it's showing that. He just picks up butter, starts eating it raw, and he had to watch his cholesterol or whatever. He had to watch his LDLs and stuff, and he ended up in the hospital. So again, this was all these things programmed to us through media, culture, magazine ads, all the articles that showed up, and then the internet blew up, and it's was getting spread through that way. All of these things vilifying saturated fats. And vilifying red meat, even, trying to make it all about saving the animals, or red meat leads to diabetes, or cancer related stuff, or whatever it is. They were trying to push their agenda, and they were vilifying these things. So the point is that we were afraid of this thing. So when we start seeing a diet out there that is claiming all of these things that we've just been battling with all this yo-yo dieting and all these articles, people talking about, oh, you got to lower your blood, all this stuff. It's going against that programming, and our brain's like, I can't process this. This is a diet where I'm not even eating any vegetables. I'm not eating any fruits. What the hell? And I'm eating butter and bacon and steak and eggs all on this plate. It's like, when my wife first saw me do it, she's like, you're going to have a heart attack. Because again, that's how we think. That's how we were programmed to think. That's just all that information over years of training. Some of you may be younger, but even when you're a kid, a lot of the parents out there wanted you to eat your vegetables and wanted you to eat. And we just learned a well-balanced diet and all this other crap. So that's why I'm saying, like, I understand the skepticism from Damien. Like, I get it, because I'm the same way. I've been programmed so deeply that this diet is the most researched diet I've ever done in 2 years. Like, I've been researching this thing for 2 years, watching videos, testimonials, all the doctors, Baker, Berry, all these guys, right? And I'm trying to get different opinions. And one guy's saying this, one guy's saying that. I'm looking for any cracks in the system. I'm looking for testimonials that, like, maybe they're like, I went on Carnivore for 90 days and then I had a heart attack and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not seeing that. Like, I see some failures, but they're usually like, I tried Carnivore for a week and this is what happened. That's like a week, really? So I am seeing some things, but nothing overall negative. It's mostly all been positive, and I've been seeing so many testimonials. This is the most, this diet has the most testimonials of positive results that I've ever seen. So that contributes to that it must be too good to be true factor. So again, we're always like skeptical, waiting for the shoe to drop. And Damien reminds me of that when he says, that he would like to know if these improve like many people claim. So he wants that proof. He wants that proof so bad, right? It reminds me a little bit of another controversial thing, which is like the paranormal, ghosts, right? Think about it. Half of you out there probably don't believe in ghosts. Half of you do. That's the statistics out there, right? So there's some people that want to believe. They're like, I want to believe so bad. Just show me the results. Show me some kind of evidence. And then you show them evidence and they're like, I need more though. I need something more than that. You're like, well, how about this? More. And it's never enough. You know what I mean? So there's never enough evidence for the skeptic, or maybe the cynic, if you really want to go more technical. But it's tough. I get it. I understand that. But this is a little more tangible than, say, ghosts. So I will say that, look, I'm going to say this. Do I have any health problems? Let me address that question. I think so. I think being morbidly obese is a health problem. As far as anything diagnosed, like kidney problems or certain things, no. But in the beginning of this, I got bad teeth. I'm overweight. I was having short breaths. I was barely able to wipe my ass. I was still able to wipe my own ass. And I'm being serious. I know it's joke. It's funny. But what I'm saying is, and I'm sorry if I let a few F-bombs slip out. I'm like Dr. Ken Berry in that sense. Like every once in a while it comes out. But I'm overweight, right? I've got, like, my belly hangs over my belt. My belt digs into me every day. By the end of the day, I just can't wait to get out of my pants and get into some sweatpants or something, right? I mean, I've got, skin stuff going on my right lower leg that I took pictures of, and I'm going to share those later on when I get to the 90 days. I'm going to share the before and after. Is it improving? Yes, it is. And it hasn't been improving before I started Carnivore. It was getting worse and worse and worse. And since I started Carnivore, it's reversing. So is this the diet that's going to fix all? I don't know. But I've heard so many stories, and all I can tell people is, listen, we all have to eat, right? You have a path. You have to eat. You have to go down that path and eat. You can't avoid eating. You have to go down that path. But do you want to do it maybe in a good way, or do you want to do it in a bad way? We're all trying to find out what's the good and the bad path. Well, hey, I tell anybody, look, try Carnivore, do the BBB&E challenge for 90 days. Just do it. Don't sit there and research things to death even more and look at all the other testimonies and all the other stuff. Start doing it. Because one, you're not going to die. Knock on wood. Okay. I'm not trying to curse you, but chances are, all right, because a million more or more people have gone carnivore. Look at some of the numbers on some of the carnivore channels. When you have people following, you bet a lot of them are going to be keto carnivore. So if you, and I'm talking to the person that hasn't committed to doing carnivore yet, but you're watching this and you're like wondering, should I do it? Should I not do it? Is it going to fix my problems? Try it. And in 90 days, let me know. Say, hey, Josh, I started it. Okay. I started it. I'm on day one. And then keep me informed throughout the journey. I know some of you already are. Some of you are like, hey, I'm right behind you. I'm a few days behind you. Some are like, hey, I just started. I started watching your videos. And I told them, hey, let me know. I hope I told everybody. But, watch, tell me your progress. Share information. I got a ton of great tips. People are always teaching me new things. Like, for instance, when I did the sardine video, I get a ton of comments on that, and I get a ton of suggestions, and I hear like mackerel, herring, right? So I've got a few suggestions of those. So guess what? I may look into that and see, should I do some mackerel next time? Should I do herring? I don't know. I'm going to look into those things. But I'm getting suggestions, and so I'll research it and I'll make a decision. Some suggestions I can't do yet because they're out of my scope that I'm willing to do right now, because there include certain ingredients that I just don't want to do yet. But in 90 days, I may loosen the time. I may loosen the reins up a little bit, and I may do ketovore or a little keto style, and I may take in some of those things. I don't know. Right now, I just want to do these 90 days and stick very close to the BBB&E with a little dirtiness sometimes, right? And see where that takes me. So you guys, like I said, and so I would say to Damien, ultimately, yes, I have health problems. Are they major diagnosed problems? Oh yeah. and pre-diabetes. I was getting pre-diabetes, skin tags and stuff. So, and I'm definitely going to keep you guys up to date on those. Right now, I'm keeping an eye on a skin tag that I'm going to show you guys. And, I think it's going to go away. I haven't had any other issues. I got that skin, I got below my knee, like my shin, my right leg shin, was really bad, really bad. But now it's getting better. I can tell you that definitively, it's getting better. And I think you guys will see that. Weight wise, you guys know that I recently weighed in and lost 17 pounds. Energy wise, even just talking to people, if you probably listen to even my first few videos and how I was talking to versus now how I talk to you guys, I think that even that has changed a little bit in what I do. So, guys, I mean, I'm trying to keep this video short. I just wanted to touch base with a little bit of how I felt. I really wanted to address that topic, and I hope that makes sense to you guys. I really wanted you to think, because I think of things on a very real, everyday person term, right? So I'm trying to approach this to you guys exactly how I approach it with my logic. Like, hey, this is too good to be true. This is, I just can't believe it. Now, what's the cons? Because I want to answer the overall question: is it worth it? So I can tell you so far, day 24, as we go, as I'm going through and getting close to a month, I feel like absolutely it's worth it. Abso-freaking-lutely. Because the little bit of odds and ends that I experience is nothing compared to when I've been on other diets or when I'm just eating garbage. All right. The way I feel, the way, all the regret, the achiness, all those things. Now, again, I want to clarify. Do I have pains? Yes, I still have some pains. When I'm at work and I'm standing a while, it's not just my feet, the middle of my back. And, some of you ladies out there that are kind of stout in the chest area and you get some of those back pains, like, you know what I'm talking about? Well, I have a big gut. So it's, my posture and everything else. So as I'm standing there, I get that mid back pain. Sometimes, of course, toward the end of the day, my feet start to hurt because, again, it's still carrying close to 300 pounds, which I found I got under the 300 mark. I'm hoping that when we weigh in, I don't regress. I want to stay under there and I want to get some distance away from 300. But yeah, I mean, so is it going to be perfect? I feel like this is as close as to perfect as you can get with a diet because, again, some of these pains are they're going to be there. They're not just going to magically go away after a few weeks of eating carnivore. Some things are going to take a long, long time to fix. Physiology, the way I walk. I've been starting to get the fat man walk, the kind of waddle thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, stop. And then I got to stop. I got to turn my right foot in just a little bit. And then I got to kind of do the strut, right? I got to open up my hips and I got to let my hips sort of flex a little bit. And I start strutting again versus the waddle. All right. You know what I'm talking about out there. So those things will also, the physiology will change. I talked about in my live video yesterday that your physiology, your center of gravity will start shifting. Your body will be making adjustments. So you're going to have these weird aches and pains because your body's having to readjust its structure to support your losing weight and your center of gravity shifting. All right. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. So don't think that every ache and pain is necessarily a bad thing. Okay. It's like when you're a kid and you had those aches and pains, like growing pains, they call them, right? Now you've got shrinking pains. Okay. You're going to reverse that. You're going to have some of that. So don't think that it's going to fix every single thing, but some of these things is work in progress. So, all right, enough of that. I think you guys get the point. And speaking of imperfection, the one last thing I wanted to cover with you guys was cravings. I know a lot of you, you're going to hear a variety of people. You're going to watch other people's channels. You're going to watch, and I do too. I watch a variety of people's channels. And it varies. right? I would love to tell you on day 24 I'm not having cravings, but I am, I am, and I'm not. Okay, I want to tell you it's psychological. Like, I'm full, right? I had that steak and I had that egg. It was so good, and I'm full. But but after dinner, that old habit of, oh, dinner, now I want dessert. And I don't have anything. I don't have any butter bites on me anymore right now. I'm going to make some because I need to. I just haven't had the time. They're real quick to make. But butter bites help. You can get a couple, have those, and it's like having a little dessert. But when I was at the store today, so again, this is what I talk about. The psychological is what triggers the cravings. I was at the store. Again, I was like, I wasn't really hungry. I was feeling pretty solid. But there was just that natural habit that when I got over to the freezer section, I was starting to think, I started to imagine going through this Rolodex of desserts, like cake, ice cream, cookies. Which one? Which one? Which one? What do I want to lock in on? And then I'm like, whoa, what am I doing? Like, stop. I don't need any of that. I'm full. And I really had to fight that today. Again, it just every once in a while. And I think what it is as you go through life, I just think maybe certain smells, certain triggers, certain times of the day, there's all of these mental triggers that just kick off a new memory. And all of a sudden, or maybe a random dessert or something will pop in your head and you're like, oh. And again, that could be triggered by a certain smell, or maybe you were standing in a place where you had that before. Whatever it was, something probably triggered that in your mind. And you're like, hey, and once it gets in there, then you're so like, then you have to like, you gotta fight it, because now you got your angel and your demon right on your shoulders, and your angel's like, no, Josh, don't eat it because you got all these people starting to watch you now, and you got to stay true to your diet. And the devil's like, oh, but it's so good. Oh yeah, nobody has to know. Just eat it on the way home in the car. Oh no, Dad, no, Josh, don't eat it. I'm knocking my microphone down. All right. So, all right. But guys, thank you so much. Now, as of recording this video, I had 199 followers. I'm blown away, guys. Seriously, I'm humbled by that. Because again, this was my diary channel. I didn't really expect it to become a thing, but getting to know some of you in the comments and having the live session. Just being able to interact with you guys has just brought me so much more hope. And again, guys, do not, just because I don't always use your suggestions, don't think that I'm not listening to them or I'm not keeping them in my mind for later. Okay, so some of your suggestions I just can't do yet. So just keep that in mind. And just keep them coming. I love all your tips when I do videos, and you go, hey, what about this? Because even if I already know what you're telling me, because I also get a good handful of tips that I'm like, yeah, I kind of know that. But other people out there that are watching this channel and reading the comments, they might not know that. Right? By the way, Ketogenic Woman, shout out to her again. She had actually saw when I did the recipe of the sardines. So it was really cool. I think she even followed me. I think that was pretty cool. She commented. And also Chris Cooking Nashville, he popped in and commented and said thank you for that. So, hey, I just want to say to those people out there that are watching, because I look at, there's this carnivore world and there's these leaders among the carnivore world. You have your cooking leaders, the ones that's giving us a lot of great recipes, like Ketogenic Woman and Chris Cooking Nashville. They're giving us recipes that normally we'd be like, do I want some kind of mashed potatoes? And he's got carnivore mashed potatoes. Like, he figured out how to engineer them. Now, that's more of like if you're a level 1 carnivore, but if you're like doing the BB&E, but hey, when I get done with my 90 days, don't think I might be looking through his channel. I might be trying some other carnivore things that, you know what I mean? So I already been I've already seen quite a few recipes and I have a set list that I save. It's like it's like a private food list that I save. So I can go back and like, I got a ton of recipes that I want to do eventually. So, but yeah, guys, anyways, thank you all so much, man. You guys are awesome. I mean, seriously, I don't really have any like catchphrase like, hey, join the diary. I don't know. Cause I don't like, people are like, join the tribe, join the thing. Hey, join the family. You guys are my family now, and I welcome you. So we'll see you tomorrow, guys.